Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Women Unleashed podcast. I am your co-host, Taylor, and your other co-host, Britt, is here with us. And today we're going to be talking about what is important to you. This is something that we've kind of just been discussing, well, very, very recently. And we thought, what a great idea to hash it out over our podcast. So yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of this because we kind of do these on the fly now, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do. I love it. We get started chatting and you're usually the one that's like, hey, well, should we talk about this today? And I'm like, well, yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, and that's exactly what
Yeah.
happened today. So I'm excited to see where we go with
Mhm.
this. So maybe we should frame it, the context for what we're talking about.
Yes. And when you say what's important to you, it means you're actually saying what's important to me.
Mhm.
Like I'm saying what's important to me and you're
Mhm.
saying what's important to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And in that, I guess it's kind of looking at your desires and your wants in life. And I guess those things can kind of frame what sort of goals you set for yourself as well and how you achieve,
Yes.
what you want to achieve.
Yes. Yeah. So what we would, yes. Let's just go straight into it, right? I'll talk about my experience just then in the last 24 hours. What's actually important to me is to have a baby, be a mum, a good mum, and be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with acknowledging that. It's not because I don't actually want it, like I actually do, but my whole life, and I'm not blaming anyone, but it's like women have got to be, entrepreneurs, leaders, businesswomen, good at what they do, fit, healthy, active, like good hair, good smell, good looks, good whatever, like all these other things that, and so my focus has been, okay, show jumping, Olympics, gold medal, money, business. And I'm like, why is this so hard? And actually, like, those things are great. Like, I do want them in my life. But what's super important to me is to have a baby and be a mum.
Yeah,
and be
they
a
kind
leader.
of trump it all.
Yeah. And I can't even tell you, like, there's no, like, I spoke to so-and-so and now I really want a baby. It's just, like, right there for me.
Yeah, I get it. It is really hard to be okay with that sort of thing, because I feel like back years ago, like probably when my nan was growing up, being a mum and a wife was kind of the expectation, and maybe there was some changes with women working a little bit, but that seemed to be more the expectation, where now it seems like you've got to be all of them. Well, this is my experience, and if you're not all of them, then you're lazy or there's something wrong with you. Like you're not enough if you're not doing everything,
Yeah.
And being a mum.
Or could I say something about that? What I'm hearing is not placing, like, equal importance on everything. If you're not, like, if having a baby isn't also on par with being a career woman or, like,
Correct.
making
Yes.
money, then there's something wrong.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, that's
my
much
occurring.
Better. No, I agree. That's a really good. Yes, I agree. Like one is less than the other.
Yes.
Yeah. And that has something I've really had to grapple with the last since my daughter's been born and while I was pregnant, because I always thought I would be a full-time working mom. I'd send my daughter to daycare full-time, all that sort of thing. And I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with that either, right? Like you got to do what's best for you, and that's what we're talking
important
about
to you.
Yeah, what's important to you. And I thought what was important to me was my career and having a family, but my career would trump it all, I guess, in some ways. Like that would be my desires for me. And then I got pregnant and I had Sophia, and I no, that was not what trumped it all. Being a mum, being a good mum, as you said, being a mum that I'm proud of, and spending as much time with my daughter while she's so little is more important to me than my career now.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, it has no bearing on logic or financial, like, sensibility. It's it's right there for you. It's like, this is important for me.
Yes.
And because Will is aligned with that, he creates a situation financially that makes it work. And you've started working a little bit, but like your partnership, because you're doing what's important to you, the rest of it is actually working.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. It
And
does
that,
work.
yeah, that's what's so, like, I'm grappling with at the moment, is so opposite for me. Because it's like, well, no, don't I have to be doing all of the things or prioritizing all of the things?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, you mean I only have to prioritize these 3 things? You know, having a baby, being a mum, and being a leader, and then all those other things will happen because I'm focusing on what's important to me. Like, I'm aligned and I'm happy with who I am being in the world.
Yeah, and you're like putting the good stuff out to the universe, so it's bringing it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think though, like for me, obviously being a mum and having my daughter at home and doing that is more important to me. And it doesn't mean that I don't need to have something for myself as well, because I struggled too with it was like I needed something extra just to give my mind a little bit of something to do outside of that, and to feel like there's something for me in there, which was where I became like with the book reviews and being part of that book community. And that's where I found my happy medium, because I can have her at home and do that. But ultimately, like, because I have started work, but I'm going back to not doing as much now because it's just not working as well, and it is taking away from that, what the importance of me being at home with her. So, and I don't want it to. It's interrupted a couple of our days together, and I'm like, no, this is not, this isn't what I want to do right now. And when she's older, if I want to go and like have a massive career when she's at school, easy, I can do that.
That's cool. Yeah.
But it is hard getting to that point where it's like being okay with what's right for you and your family, and what's important to you and your family.
Yeah. It's incredibly hard. Yeah.
And Will, Will mostly, like, Will and I say, like, no one else is living our life. Like, I'm not living your life, yours and Nathan's life, and Sophie's and Ethan's, and you're not living like my family's life. It's very hard to say what's should be important to me when you're not, fully immersed in what we're dealing with. Same vice versa.
Yeah. But and no one will ever be you. Like, your unique thing that has what's important to you is a particular thing. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like there's a big, like, unfolding to happen, like, like a big flower that's been, like, trying to hold it together and look like a beautiful flower that's just going to go, like, all the petals just woo.
I love it.
And go, okay, here's the few things, and just presence those for yourself. Britt.
Yeah. And doesn't it, at the same time, although you're like, it's a bit of like a head fuck as well, it's kind of like peaceful, because it's like, that's it. That's it. That's all there is. It doesn't have to be super complicated,
Yes. Yep. And today I was like driving along going, well, what am I going to work on? Because I enjoy working on it. And the money will come. But it wasn't like, where's the money? It was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I enjoy working on it. Or it's, like, it's important to me. It was just like this freedom. Like, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Getting the joy of something, just doing also doing things because you just like to and they're important to
Yeah.
you. You don't need to like achieve anything with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, and there's a lot, like, human beings, people say, oh, we're all different. And like, yes, we are. Everyone is unique, but
Yeah.
our, I don't know, I read the word somewhere and I can't bloody remember it. Like, how, like, we're actually quite predictable, like
Mm.
what our needs are
Mm.
or what is important to us. And you shouldn't shun it because it's quite primitive or simple, or overlook it because it's quite simple or primitive, like
Yes.
wanting to be a mum and have a baby.
Mm.
Like, and it makes a lot of sense from a like evolutionary perspective, that it's important to have a baby so that, you know, they can like survive. Like, it's, you know, putting your children into the world so that your clan or your tribe like survives.
Mm.
Someone can make the food and or hunt,
Yeah.
and like, it just makes a lot of sense. Like, it's really simple.
Yeah.
um and yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
say, don't look too like, don't overlook the simple things. It could be really important to you,
Yeah.
that then make the other things work.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. And then you've got like the other side of the coin. It's okay if you don't want to have babies at all. You know, I think there's also that push, like where people are like, oh, you should, you know, like you've got to, how can you not want a family, blah, blah, blah. Like if you don't want to, cool, do that. I think if
Yes.
you're unsure, don't do it because it's
Yeah.
not something you want to like risk, you know?
Yes. Yeah, it's a long life
There was someone
decision.
on social media that was just like saying, no, we're not having kids. And she was like, I would rather regret not having them than have them and regret it the other way. And I was like,
Oh
that's a,
yeah.
you know, I think that's
Mm.
smart. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, like, or someone that is like their goal is their career, or they do or don't want to get married. Like, either way, doesn't really matter. As long as
Mm.
you're okay with what's important to you. I think that's the main
Yes,
takeaway.
and if you find yourself like things are really hard work and
Mm,
there's a lot of tension and you feel like you're not getting anywhere by doing what you think is important to you, then maybe you're actually not doing what's important to you.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that, you know, starting a business is going to be easy, but there's a particular kind of way you be when you're doing what's important to you.
Mm,
Nothing's like, you're going to keep going, and you'll anything, the high, the low, you just deal with it all. And you got this, like, there is a bit of an energy about you that is like, this is where I'm going, and it's okay. Like, there's another door to open, or another request to make, or like another baby to console, another
mm,
sleepless night, or like, you just keep doing it. And it's not like, yeah, it's not a big chore, or it's not like draining you. You're not
mm.
letting it drain you.
Yeah,
um
I agree. There's like there's still that joy there, or that spark or hunger in you.
yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah,
whatever the thing is you decide. And if it all just feels like too hard and not not really worth it. I don't know, like what you're
mm.
doing and what you're getting, if it doesn't feel like, I don't know. Mm,
Mm.
I think
Like,
there's that.
and
If it's not worth giving up something, you know, like for me, working in my business isn't really worth giving up time with Sophia. Like it's not worth it to me, you know?
mm, mm,
Um,
yeah. So how would we assist people to like find this out for themselves? Because that's what I'm like, we're sharing, which is great, and that it's
true.
the
That's good.
sharing that has people reflect, has our listeners
Mm.
reflect. But um
I think you can look at it as to what, like, what you spend your time doing that can be important to you. Like what, you know, like looking at your week and like how do you spend the majority of your time? And even if maybe that's but then that could just be not really what's important to you, but you're just doing those
Yeah.
things for other reasons.
Yeah, because I
like,
was spending most of my time
yeah, true.
doing the other stuff.
All right, I take it back. Just got to
Yeah.
think out loud, like work it out loud. No.
Well, so because this is where you've got to like really break the construct of like, well, this then that, like I've got to have the finances to then do this and then do that. It's like no, you've got to like break all of that, let all of that go, and go, okay, if I didn't, doesn't matter what it was in my life, like if I didn't have a baby in my life, would I be disappointed? Would I be at peace with myself? Okay, if the answer's no to that, then it's like, well, that's really important.
Yeah.
To me, doesn't matter how I'm going to afford it. Even if I don't even have a fiance, it's like, okay, well, if that's really important to me, then yeah, that goes on the list. It doesn't have to have a financial bring money in or whatever. It's just like, okay, well, those things are important to me. If I can be that I want those things. And that's where I was missing. Like I couldn't be that I wanted those things.
Like there was something wrong, or it's not time.
Well, it was. I was taught that it was I had to want other things, and then I would get those things.
Yeah,
Like
right. So you got to achieve something first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So maybe it's like a visualization thing, like visualizing the life you want. If there was nothing in your way, there was nothing, no considerations or excuses, or like if you could just bang, what do you want?
Yeah, yeah. Like, and you had to wipe that you had any kind of past family traumas. Like, if none of that happened, and that can be really hard to see if you've never like looked from that perspective before.
True. And sometimes those things that you think you want aren't really your wants, but maybe your family's.
Yes,
yeah, which is probably what you just said, but I've just said it.
Yeah.
But like it's the people you've grown up with. It's their wants that you've put on yourself as yours, and made it important to you. And maybe it's not, and you got to pull back again and see if is it really something that. I think bringing you joy is probably part of being what's important to you. Not that there's not hard work and things in it, obviously.
Yeah,
I think it's got to light you up.
Yeah, 100%.
Make you feel content and happy in your life. You can look back and, when you're 100 and be like, yeah, cool. Happy with those. No regret. I made like really my main life achievements I'm really happy with,
I did what was important to me, and I didn't judge it against anybody else either. It was just what I want. I think that's the one important thing, is to not compare it to other people's lives.
Yes.
Because like so-and-so could have, like having a baby and being a great mum could have been important to them, and they went out and did that. And then all the other things in their life, like being a mega influencer and a businesswoman, like those things happened because they prioritized what was important to them. Yes. And they may not be able to communicate that, nor could you maybe see that on Instagram.
Yes.
Like,
so because those things aligned, everything else fit into place.
Yeah, like anything else they wanted to do just sort of happened because they were so content and powerful within themselves.
Awesome. Cool. This is good. I like this conversation.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's good. Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
No, I feel pretty good about it too. Like, I guess, guys, I guess there's some takeaways here, but I'll leave.
Yeah, I can wrap it up. Yeah. I just want to acknowledge that I've spoken to a couple of our listeners, and one of them has given us some feedback about what she'd like to hear about. So I'm going to do some looking through past episodes, and if we haven't covered that, then we will. So thank you Thank you, Jenny, if you're listening. Thanks for your feedback. And please share, like, even if you just share a reel to a girlfriend on Instagram. Like, Taylor is amazing at doing the little clips. It really makes a difference to someone else's life when you do that. So, and it makes a difference to us that what we're communicating gets out somewhere, because we like having these conversations. So yeah, please do that. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.